Hello, this is Mr. Painter with the Fabulous Quizzette tutorial. Today we're working on Quizzette 824. We're working on simplification of variables. All right, first step, if you would please put your name on your paper. My name is Mr. Painter. I will be your host today. And if you would please put your name and not my name, because putting my name will not get you credit. Next step, if you would take a look at the board, please put the date as well as your team and color on your paper so you get credit. And I'll give you about another 15 seconds to do so. All right, let's go ahead and start. We're on Monday. Solve for G. 16G minus 7G plus G. Ooh, that's kind of weird. What happens when we get G by itself? Try to think. Well, how many G's is that? Well, if you're asking for like a slice of pizza or you want a hamburger or a soda, notice that all three of those food items, I never gave you a number. But when you talk about a pizza or a Coke, that means one. So when you see G by itself or any variable in that case by itself, that represents one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 1 in front of G to represent 1 plus 3G minus 12G equals 11. What we're going to do is we're going to simplify G into 1G. So for an example, because we have 16G minus 7G, well, they both have G, so we can put them together. So 16 minus 7 is going to be 9G. Now, what I can do is I can also put these two together. I could do 1 plus 3G equals 4G. And minus 12G, I'm just going to bring down, equals 11. All right. So you can do this in any order you want. You can do 2 at a time. You can do 3 at a time. You can do 4 at a time. And if you're really, really careful, you could do 5 at a time. So I just kind of did 2 at a time. But it's really up to you how you want to do it. We're going to go ahead and try all three of these. We're going to do 9G plus 4G. So I got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we're at 13. But 13 minus 12 is going to give me 1G equals 11. So again, we did 9 plus 4G. It's going to take us to 13G. 13G subtract 12G. Well, we only got 1G left. Last step, anything times 1 is just whatever it is. So what's going to happen is we got G equals 11 there. All right, check. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take every G and place a 11. So let's go ahead and give this a try. So we got 16 times 11, because that's the first G, right? Minus 7 times 11. So you got to be good at your 11's times table. But it's okay. If you're not, you can use a calculator. Plus 1 times 11. So again, every word of the G, word is 11, so we're right here. Let me see, what do we got? Plus 3 times 11 minus 12 times 11. I'm going to run out of space, but it's all right. We're just going to run into the next slide. So I'm going to put 11 there. I kind of drew on the line there, but it's all right. Equals 11. Okay, I would say the first step is let's go ahead and take care of all the multiplication first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put parentheses around the multiplication. So that's going to go first. That's going to go second. Then here, multiplication, multiplication, and multiplication. So we have to multiply, or in this case, multiply and divide first, even though there's no division, before subtracting and adding. So this is going to be great time for our calculator. So 16 times 11 is going to be 176. So 176. Subtract 7 times 11 is going to be 77. Plus 1 times 11 is 11 plus 3 times 11 is 33. Subtract 12 times 11 is 132 equals 11. All right, next step, we got 176 minus 77. And that's going to take us to 99 and bring everything else down. Plus 11 plus 33 minus 132 equals 11. All right, next up, we got 99 plus 11 is 110 plus 33 minus 132 equals 11. Next up, we have 110 plus 33. Ooh, 110 plus 33. It looks like should be 143 minus 132 equals 11. And last step, 143 minus 132 equaling 11. Let's see. Oh, how nice. It does work because 11 does equal 11. So check. So you can use a calculator on this for each little individual step. Don't use a calculator on the whole entire thing at one time. So just like when you get a number like 16 times 11, feel free to use a calculator. That way you're able to work it out. All right. So we know we're right. 11 equals 11. Check. Monday number 1, done. Let's see. Number 2. So I'm going to change that to a number 2. Okay. So number 2, we have solve for G. 10 equals 2G plus 1. So we're going to get into something called the distributive property. There are 2 ways to do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you both ways. So you can pick the way that works for you. Way number 1 is you can do 10 equals 2G plus 1 and do the distributive property. Again, 2 ways to do it. So what happens is you got 10 equals 2 times G is 2G, and 2 times 1 is plus 2. Next step, subtract 2 from both sides, so minus 2, minus 2. And we are going to block that out. We have 8 equals 2G. Last step, because we have 2 times G on the right side, we're going to divide both sides by 2. So divide 2, divide 2. 8 divide 2 is equal to 4. And 2's cancel out. 4 equals G. So that's way number 1. Now let's get into way number 2. Same problem. We have 10 equals 2 times G plus 1. What we can do is, because it's G, multiply the 2 and the 2 also multiplied by the 1, we can divide the entire thing by 2. Because again, it's distributive property of multiplication. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 10 divide 2 on the left side. And therefore I get 5 equals 2's cross out G plus 1. One more step. We got subtract 1 from both sides. And therefore we have 4 equals G. So again, it doesn't matter which way you do it, because notice they're both the same. 4 equals G and 4 equals G. So same thing. Now, what about the check? You knew I was going to ask. So remember, G equals 4 for both of these. So let's take that 4 and backwards plug it in. So, yeah, check. All right, so we got 10 equals 2 multiply, or in this case, we could distribute it. It's multiply, though. G was 4. So 4 plus 1 and close the parenthesis. 10 equals 2 distributive property. In this case, let's do inside. We're going to do 4 plus 1 is going to be 5. then 10 equals 2 times 5 is 10, and we know the check works beautiful there. Now notice the check is only 3 steps, so take your time, do the check, because that will be important. All right, going into number 3, solve for our J. I call J our jack of the box. Ooh, something looks weird. Now notice you got J. I want you to notice something. Take a look at the problem. What do you notice that's different about this one? Because I haven't seen one of these before. Yeah, I think you got it. I think you saw that we have a J on both sides. So these are something called variables on both sides of the equation. All right. So what I want to do is I want to get the variable only on one side, not both, because now I'm totally confused. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract the smaller of the J's on both sides to make it simpler. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract the 7J on the left side, because what happens is it'll come out to a positive number on the right side, because it'll be 8 minus 7. So minus 7 J's for both sides. So 7J minus 7J is literally nothing on the left side. And 8J minus 7J will give us 1J subtract 3. So once again, when you have a variable on both sides, the goal is to subtract it or add it, do the opposite, whatever you got to do, to get J only on one side. And this way, J is only on the right side. All right, now we got a two-step equation. So what we need to do is just get J by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 3 on both sides. But wait a minute, subtraction and subtraction doesn't work. We need to do the opposite. So what we're going to do is we're going to add and do something called the inverse to get rid of our 3. So 0 plus 3 is 3 equals 1J. And what's nice about this is when you have 3 equals 1J, which is 1 times J, we know that 3 equals J, because 1 times J is still J. All right, what about the check? All right, so remember J is equal to 3, so I'm going to plug in a 3 where we see a J. And we have 7 times, okay, we got a first J of 3, equals 8 multiply J, which is 3, subtract 3. Now, if we did this correct, both sides should be equal. All right, here we go. Left side, we got 7 times 3 is 21. And 8 times 3 equals 24 minus the 3 we didn't include yet. Oh, how nice. So once again, you probably look at the chat, you're probably thinking it's extra work, but it really doesn't take that long, because now you got 21 equals 24 minus 3 is 21. The check's already done, and both sides are equal to each other. So again, notice the pattern on the checks. Both sides are always equal. All right, give you a couple more seconds to go ahead and finish copying that down. And getting into number 4. Number 4. Here we go. We got 10 equals 2 over 5. Oh, God. Multiplied into, or distributive property of 5 fantastics plus 5. Oh, boy. All right. Let's rewrite that. 10 equals, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the fraction. Remember, a fraction is division. So what we have on top is 2 times distributive property of 5f plus 5 over 5. That's what we're looking at right there. That's over 5. All right. So next step, we have 10 equals, let's go ahead and work on the top. So we got 2 times 5 and 2 times 5 there. So on our top side, we got, let's see, 2 times 5 is going to be, oh, yeah, 10f. 2 times 5 is plus 10. And the whole thing's over 5. So that's over 5. And that's over 5 as well. Next step, I got 10 equals 10 divided 5 is 2f plus 10 over 5 again is plus 2. So fractions just went away. That was a really nice step. Now we're just solving for f. So opposite of add 2 is minus 2, minus 2. So we got 8 equals 2f, and 2's canceled out there. And last step, we're going to divide by 2. Divide 2, divide 2. So 8 divide 2 is 4 equals f. Fantastic. Now you're probably thinking, well, can we do the check? Well, absolutely. Here we go. All right, so for the check, we're going to go ahead and use our right column here. All right, check. Remember, both sides need to be equal is what we're looking for. Remember, the only thing we're going to do is we're going to change f into a 4. And if it works out, both sides are equal, then we know we did our job. So let's go ahead and do 10 equals 2 over 5, parentheses, 5 multiply. Can you remember what f was equal to? Yeah, you got it. So 4 is equal to f. So 5 times 4 plus 5 and close the parenthesis. All right, let's do the inside the parentheses first. How would that work? Yeah, I think it should work. Here we go. We got 10 equals 2 over 5 multiply 20. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 5. Next step, we got 5, or actually 5. We got 10 equals 2 over 5. I'm thinking of our next step. We got 20 plus 5. Let me see, 20 plus 5. Oh, it's 25. There. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 multiply 25 first. 2 multiply 25 first. So I got 10 equals 2 times 25 is 50. But don't forget our divide 5. So it's 50 over 5. And 10 equals 50 over 5. Ooh, it's 10. Check. All right. Seems like a lot. Feel free to pause the video if you need more time to take a look at it. The key here is when you check your work, you're guaranteed to get it right. But if you don't check your work, you take a risk and then you don't know if you got it right. But the actual answers are in pink. So like number 3 is actually 3. Number 4 is 4. That was perfect. And 2, the answer was number 4. And for number 1, there's actually not solving. Well, actually, you do solve. You got 11 for G. So number 1's 11. All right. Need more time? Feel free to pause the video. Have a fantastic day. And thank you.